So tonight I feel like working with someone like I do in my sessions to show you what I do. I do different things in my sessions. I sometimes do sitting with people and like a meditation, like I talk them through sensation and through what's actually happening rather than what they imagine's happening, which is wholeness. And then the other thing that I do in sessions, which is what I want to do today, is I explore a dynamic with someone. So if you want to call in, don't call, just send a message saying you want to explore a dynamic. So you obviously have to have a dynamic before you call. You can't call and then hope that one comes. So when I say a dynamic, what I mean is there's something that the mind is getting stuck on and it's present now. It's like a difficulty. It could be that you feel insecure at your work, that you want to leave your job, or you can't make decisions. Could be anything. But you have to have a headset with a microphone, and you have to have good internet, and you have to speak good enough English so we can communicate. And if you don't speak good enough English, you could say, and maybe there'll be somebody that could translate for you. So it can be very basic English, but enough so we can communicate. Sometimes it's been a struggle for some people, not very often though. So you need a headset, and when I mean a headset, I mean like headphones with a microphone, so that can be your Apple ones or your phone ones, and you need to have used Skype before and know that the audio and the video is working. And when we work together, we'll be working through Skype, so you have to turn the volume of live stream off. Don't worry, if you get all in a muddle, I'll help you when you call. And you've got to be prepared to be vulnerable, because this is recorded. So and there's other people watching, so you've got to be prepared to do that as well. What you can do is you can change your name if you want. So you can go in and tap your name on Skype, and it will bring up your information, and then you can change your name if you don't want me to know or read out your name. So you just tap on Skype. So it's a lot of information, and so if you'd like to work on something, then just send me a message.
And you speak. So basically, the topic I wanted to talk to you about is about how basically emotions.
Yeah, I think it's loud enough.
Okay.
I think it's okay.
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 Okay, so you said that if we have some sort of pattern that we get stuck, we can discuss with you?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that from like self-analysis, I have this pattern of slightly falling into the realm of victimhood.
Yeah.
I think I'm quite a strong fighter in the outside world, I don't usually have in a dual world, I don't usually have problem like in business or like this, but my sort of like emotional ups and downs come when it has to do with family, especially my mother or my son.
Yeah.
And there I'm losing the strength to call it like this,
You're losing the strength to what, sorry?
Sorry?
What did you say? You're losing the strength?
Yeah, I'm losing the strength, my emotions start to go more like on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Like, like I want to be liked by them. We have a quite family, we sort of accept and love each other a lot, but still there are moments where sort of when somebody says something not exactly what I appreciate, then it sort of like hurts me. And like the more I observe it, the more I sort of feel that the hurt goes like deeper.
Yeah.
And I can't work with it very well,
Yeah.
It's sort of then I have physical symptoms like lower back pains and things like this. And, I think I've been through quite a lot of therapies, and I think I sort of, at least very intellectually, quite get what
Yeah.
you're saying, your message, and I read a lot of books and everything, you know, but I can't work with these emotions when this actually happens, you know.
Yeah.
And when I try to do it like logically, okay, it doesn't matter, it's just what's happening. Sometimes it works, but a lot of times it does not.
Yeah. So let's go into it. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you just shut your eyes, I find shutting your eyes works best because I ask you to go into your body.
Mm-hmm.
So so I want you to think of a particular situation recently where you've had an interaction with a family member where it hurt.
I think it would be the chest area.
Just, you don't have to go into the body yet, sorry, I just meant the situation. So if you think of the situation.
Yes.
And could you elaborate with me? You don't need to use names, or you don't need to say it was my mother or sister, you can just...
No, it's okay, I don't have problem with sort of saying, you know, I
Yeah.
don't mind sharing, you know. Basically, it was like, I think it was like over this Christmas time when my son returned from university and they have really, really close connection with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And it was more like energetically that I felt that I don't belong there to that group.
Yeah.
You know, these dynamics 2-on-1, 3-on-2. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So something like this. And I sort of was feeling like left out, to be
Yeah.
honest. And like looked down upon, which I'm making it maybe a little more drama. But
Yeah.
because I think the pattern of this happening is for maybe a year or two now, I just sort of become very annoyed by the, or like out of power by the even the slightest sign
Yeah.
of this starting to happen.
Yeah.
Is that enough to describe?
Yeah, yeah, that is. So let's go to that sense of feeling out of power.
Mm-hmm.
That you're powerless to, or why don't you tell me a bit about that sense of being out of power? Like, what does that mean to you?
That I want to be, for example, on this example,
Yeah.
I wanted to be part of that group. I wanted to sort of share that with them.
Yeah.
Not that they sent me away, but I just felt energetically I don't belong there. The sense was too strong, you know, and the actions then sort of, they were not so dramatic, you know, but I just feel it, you know, I just feel this, I don't know if I'm overly sensitive, but not in a good way maybe, that I think I can quite soon pick up the energies of, you know, like if somebody's pushing me away or accepting me.
Yeah.
And I felt a lot of pushed away. So maybe losing power was not the right word,
Yeah.
but I felt more like not welcomed, you know, more
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah. So when you think about that feeling of not being welcome, where do you feel that in your body?
Sometimes it can be in the chest.
Yeah.
But if I can like say it really like directly, it's like, it almost feels like it's everywhere, you know, it's like in a system, more like
Yeah.
this. I can't really say it's very special occasion. I think it's more like in the system, and then I guess majority would be in the head.
Yeah. So just I'm going to ask you some questions, and you can take your time to answer. So are they welcome to be themselves with you? Are they welcome in your life?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Yeah. So right now, if you go into your heart and you go into your feelings, are they welcome in, or do you want to hold them back?
At this very moment, yes, very much.
They're welcome in?
Yes.
And what does that feel like to welcome them in? To want them to be present?
I think it's very satisfying and it's very calm and just like a general feeling that, yes, that's all right. It's nice to be like this.
Yeah. So just feel that you welcome them. And do you welcome all of their qualities?
And here we go. No, I have problem with aggression. Yeah, I don't like aggressiveness, you know. I sort of have this tendency always try to talk things out, more sort of, I don't know if my nature is more peaceful than, I'm not so maybe dynamic as they are, or maybe not so Pita style, you know, like from Ayurveda, but, you know, I'm sort of more like, I want to do everything peacefully, you know,
Yeah.
I don't want to fight.
So how does that make you feel, their aggression?
Sorry?
How does that make you feel, their aggression?
I don't think I can find the right word in English, but I'm getting smaller and smaller. Like I'm becoming, like when you imagine a body, like I'm shrinking. That's the word, yeah. Like yeah, and fear.
And what does it mean to shrink to you? Like, what does it mean that you're not welcome or that you're disappearing? What does that mean?
More that I'm not welcomed.
So when they show aggression, it means that you're not welcome.
Yes.
And when they show aggression, are they welcome?
Definitely not by me. Mm-mm. Like
So when they show aggression, you don't want them in your vicinity. You're not welcoming them.
Yes, I don't want them in my physical presence. Yes.
But it makes you feel like you're not welcome.
Yes, I see what you mean.
So just sit with that for a moment and just feel into your body. All we need to do is just become conscious of what's happening.
I can feel that even after this sort of 2-3 minutes, I calm down a lot.
Yeah. So what other things do they do that make you feel not welcome?
Maybe because like a whole family, we sort of, I don't want to say are into this subject because, you know, that can sometimes sound very weird, you know, but like one member of my family, she read the Maharshi's books so long time ago, and then my son, I think he has it quite sort of more naturally and less trauma in his childhood. So therefore, I just feel like whenever we sort of talk about these things and like that, then that I'm not sort of not as clever, or, you know, I can't really sort of, I just feel these things. I'm not very good at like vocally describing them, you know, like my speaking abilities are not sort of that great, and whenever we sort of discuss this subject and I say something and I don't explain it that properly, you know, I just always feel like it's pointed out to me that, okay, it's not exactly like what you say. So I think it's just going around in these circles of like not being enough, I guess that's what you call it. Yeah.
So where do you feel that now in your body when you talk about that?
Where?
Yeah. Do you have a sensation that comes up when you think about not being able to talk about it with them?
This may be in the chest area, in the heart area, lungs, and all this place. That's where I feel it the most.
So when you are dismissed by them, when they point out to you that it's not quite right what you're saying, do you associate that with not being welcome, with not being part of the group?
I guess, yes. Yes.
Do you think that's actually what's being said in that moment? That they're saying to you that you're not welcome or that you're left out?
Maybe it is just my association with it, because I feel like a child in the first year in a school, when you can write the letter A and the teacher will come and repeatedly will show you like, this is how you have to do it, then try again, not good enough, and again. So something like this. So yes, maybe this also associates that feeling of like not being enough and not being welcomed. I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
And I do pretty understand that maybe it's like my exaggeration of it, and I'm trying to be so careful when these things are happening to try to pick it up as soon as it starts to evoke these emotions. And sometimes I'm fast enough, but sometimes
It goes,
it is because it's so, this is the pattern what you said, because it is repeating so often, it's almost like, they say it's like I'm allergic to it, like as soon as it starts to happening, it's like the body, the memory, it just sort of comes again and again. And I really tried to work hard through some therapies to get this out of the system, sometimes with better luck, sometimes with least luck, but this is the pattern,
I wouldn't try to get it out of your system. I think it's about totally embracing it. And so when that pain comes up in that moment, it's an embracing of it and seeing that your feelings are real, that what you're experiencing in that moment is real to you, but it's not actually the truth of the situation. It's not that people are rejecting you. But let's go back to that feeling more. So when they do that to you, do you then reject them?
Yes, I judge them.
In what way do you judge them?
I compare. Can I just sort of be honest completely as it comes?
Yeah.
I just say to myself like, whoa, if I would be in this situation, I don't think I would react like this. I sort of feel like it's unnecessary to make such a drama out of nothing, like maybe my attitude would be more like, I wouldn't say non-caring, but less drama, less over-dramatization of what politicians said, what, I mean, I'm saying stupid examples, but I'm just saying everything that just comes, so maybe not so over, not such an exaggeration of things that I would pass, like I would say, oh, whatever, So I compare myself, and I judge their behavior, yes.
And then in that judgment, do you feel that you recoil from them?
Sorry, what is the English
Do you,
word, please?
when you judge them, do you feel like you pull away from them?
I want to pull away, yes. Yes. At the same time, I want, it's like 50-50. At the same time, I want to crash them and come close to them, you know, like
Yeah.
maybe like a force,
Yeah.
like I want to change and twist the situation for it to be.
Yeah. You have a good understanding of yourself and what's happening.
Yeah, I do, but again, as I say, you know, it's like that catching that first time,
Yeah.
and you know, it's sometimes it's like even it's so slight, you know,
Yeah.
it's like it can be one look, and you know, the whole system just starts to work
Yeah.
out itself, you know. So once I wrote you something similar, and you said sometimes we just have to live, like physically live,
Yeah.
when these things do happen, and I sort of, if I can honestly say it like this, I sort of give up on it, you know, because they say either embrace it, but sometimes you just have to leave.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
So I think just at the moment, till I will completely accept that
Yeah.
this is just happening and nobody's doing
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
I think.
And I think you're doing a great job with it. Like, you have a good understanding of yourself and you have a good understanding of what's happening.
Yes.
And the big key to it is seeing that connection is beyond interaction with people. So it's beyond your conversations. So it's seeing that the connection is there despite what happens. Despite you walking away, or you recoiling, or you hurting, or you saying something, the connection is underneath that. Because everything they do and say is inside of you. So not just inside of you as consciousness, but inside of you as in the projection of the brain. Everything is a projection of the brain. Like, everything is an interpretation of the brain. It's like everything you see is your neural pathways. It's the way that your brain is set up. So on the human, sorry?
Can I just ask you, do you think that these neural patterns, can they be sort of at least slightly reprogrammed with like some sort of work on yourself?
Yeah, sure. But the freedom isn't in wiping yourself clean of neural pathways, because as soon as you recondition it, you're going to get new ones. There's always going to be these connections. That's the way we work. You're going to label this as that, and this is that, and this means this. That's the way our brains function. So everything is a projection of your brain, and seeing it for what it is. Seeing it impersonally, that your brain works like this, and you can have more balanced connections, and you can try to strive towards becoming and having a more balanced outlook and understanding yourself. But you understand yourself really well, it seems, and you understand your feelings, which is really good, and you can keep exploring that, and that will make everything more calmer. But the connection is underneath that. So everything is a projection of your brain. All you see is your neural pathways everywhere. So everything is happening inside of your brain in a way. Well, definitely it is. And then also as consciousness. And this is where the freedom is that your connection to your family and your son is in presence, is in this instant, is in the direct experience. And this is the confusion. We look for connection in what we think and feel. But connection is actually in the seeing of your son, the hearing of your son. It's in the very instant. It's not in your relationship as such with your son. It's in the direct experiencing of your son and your family.
I can grasp this intellectually, absolutely.
Yeah.
With you and, you know, like people, I don't know how to say it, but with more like a gentle people.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, as soon as you feel like aggression or something, then it makes
I'm losing all theories.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just overtaken, and
Yeah.
like that's it, you know. So.
Yeah. And just see that as the perfect play of things. You can strive to change that and to overcome that, but it's also the perfect play of things. The reaction you have and their reaction comes directly from the beginning of everything. You cannot separate it out from anything. So it comes from the Big Bang. It's an effect of the creation of the dinosaurs, the planets, the universe. Like it's in perfect alignment. You or them aren't ultimately doing something wrong.
Yes, I've been through that circle that first you blame the others, then you blame yourself, then you blame and blame and blame, and then there comes a point where you have nobody else to blame.
Yeah.
You just don't know what to do.
Yeah, yeah. That's a beautiful place to be because then it begins to become less important, and then what's seen as being more important is the presence. The feeling of your bum on the seat, the breathing. Because all your attempts to find freedom in your neural pathways, in the world and in what you think, doesn't work. But where does all that thinking come from? And this no place is the freedom, remembering this no place. And then the brain will play out the story it plays out. So now how do you feel inside your body?
Right now?
Yeah.
If I can be honest, for example, now I'm extremely happy that I did have a chance to talk to you. You know, that, yes, of course, I feel, yes, I feel happy.
Yeah.
Yes, I feel happy now because I got to talk to you. That's it, you know, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
So simple.
Nice.
And sometimes when you do this work, like you said, you have to, well, as you said, psychology is a big part of this, you know, like sometimes when you say like you work on yourself, and sometimes, you know, then you have this psychological work in the dual world, and then you are listening to this or feeling, I rather say I'm feeling these things, you know, I'm not sort of maybe that great at listening or blah, blah. And, you know, like, and then you just, like, there is a moment then you think you've done quite a lot of psychological work, and then you just have to just observe it and not to get so attached to it.
Yeah.
Then on the other side, you know how it works in a, I won't say non-duality because everything it is, you know, but you know the theory and then you know your experience, and sometimes it to me seems like it's a never-ending work.
Yeah. Yeah. On the human level it is. On the human level it is never ending, but on the absolute level it always ends here. So just register that feeling. So you know that feeling that you get. So just go into that feeling you get when you think it's never ending. Can you feel that now? Or is it not present?
No, now I'm happy because
Yeah, no, it's okay then. Nice.
but this is Lisa, nothing like sort of like sometimes, you know, I feel so bad when I talk to somebody because you say everybody wants something from everyone, yeah. So I just hope, you know, that now it was like I didn't sort of, but I'm happy I talked.
Yeah.
Egoistically, I'm happy I talked.
Yeah.
That's it, you know, no more.
Nice.
Lisa, thank you.
Thank you very much, Chris. Lovely to
Nice
speak with
see
you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.